They say it's always darkest before the dawn. And in the world of motorsports, those words ring especially true. As is tradition, Daytona greets us as we emerge from our winter hibernation. But this year, we awaken 30 years in the past. This time we celebrate a bygone era as drivers take to the unrefined beasts that are the Audi Quattro and Nissan GTP. A new season is about to dawn. The darkness about to fade. The Major Series and Late Apex Apparel proudly bring you the 2018 Classic Daytona 2.4, an endurance race from the ages, for the ages. Coming to you live, iRacing Live, on February 4th, 2018.
With 5 events remaining on the schedule, there are at least that many drivers with a chance at the championship. In a season where sorrow is an easy find and jubilation more often a lucky reward, what better place to come to than a place famous for its ability to party? Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship comes to Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, and if you're looking for close racing both on the track and for the crown, then stay tuned. From the country that gave the world the bossa nova, hello and welcome to the Global SimRacing channel and the countdown to green. Way up in the press box to bring you our words eye view is Soup and Crackers, yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Back from his real-world trip to the Daytona 24 is our director, the hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. It's round 8 of 12 on the Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship schedule, and as cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader format that consists of an initial 40-minute feature followed by a 25-minute sprint. GSRC will be here to bring you all the action live as it happens as we count down to green. Now, the last time the AOR came to Brazil was in what I like to call BG time, before GSRC. It was way back in Season 4 when Jeroen the Earthquakel earned Best of the Day honors. Christian DeCatch and Evan Emre are the only drivers in the top 5 still active for Season 8. Now today, viewers, you'll be blessed with a bilingual broadcast because, Sean, I know your pronunciation of these Portuguese corner names is going to be spot on. Because of my untalented tongue, Soup will be going with the English translations, but no matter the language, this place usually puts on a good show. Sean?
You give me way too much credit, Soup, but we are here today in the beautiful city of Sao Paulo, Brazil, formerly known as Interlagos, which translated means between lakes. The track was renamed in 1985 after Carlos Pace, a Formula One race driver who died in a plane crash tragically in 1977, a national hero. The track opened in 1940 and its first ever Formula One event was in 1972. It has been the steady host of the Brazilian Grand Prix since 1990. Now, 15 turns packed into this 4.3 kilometer facility. Yes, that's 2.6 miles. This place has more than its fair share of twists and turns. Turn 6 all the way through turn 12, but literally half of this track, well over a third, is trouble, and it twists like chubby checker. But the best way to get an idea what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0 and take a lap around Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace.
Alright, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Interlagos. Into the braking for the Senna S, it's going to be very easy for drivers to lock up. The track drops away and requires careful trail braking to be fast. Try to set up a wide entry into the right-hander to give yourself a better launch around the Curva de Sol and eventually onto Reta Oposta. So much of the line around this track requires thinking ahead to determine the optimal path, so the fast guys have likely all done their homework. As we hit the backstretch, this will be a very popular place to pass. The draft, straight line braking, and no switchback means Descida del Lago is really your optimal place to overtake. Watch out for the exit, because the car will like to push wide with the drop in elevation. Switch sides quickly and line up for Ferradura, which is going to be a medium-speed double apexer. It's not as tricky in the high downforce Renault, but will still require precision. From there, turn 8 begins the technical half of the track. The curbs around these hairpins look flat, but don't be tempted to cut them too far. The bottom half of this car is sensitive and can get all kinds of messed up bouncing over the rumble strips. When you hit Pico de Pato, it's another tricky curved braking zone. But the important bit will be setting up a good launch off the turn, since it's going to be flat out for a little bit. You'll see there's no lifting through Mugello, and with Juncal being the most important turn to get right, you don't want to wind up in a too wide situation. Take as wide an entry as you dare coming in here to really open up the corner. And then, as soon as you think it's safe, get on the power and send the car flying up the hill. Anyone remotely close to you is going to get a huge tow and may even be able to draft past you. The switchback on turn 1 can make it possible to defend, so expect the battle to carry on. But as you come to the line, you've now finished a lap around Interlagos.
Joe Peak doing what nobody does better, taking us around a lap on iRacing. This time it is at Interlagos. Now, let's see what happened last time out at Montreal. You know, Fabrizio Donoso came into Season 8 with a reputation as a great sim racer. The only question was, how long will it take him to get comfortable to the iRacing version of the sport? Last round, Donoso must have been racing in his slippers and PJs because he felt comfortable enough to win the day, including a featured checkered flag. They speak French in that part of Canada, so no surprise to see Frenchmen Richard Arnaud and Enric Andre make the top 5 at Montreal. The SimRC guys continue to point their way to the team title. Patrick Kessler and Renault Osterkamp go 3rd and 4th. And 18th in the feature kept sprint race winner Martin van Loosenord off the chart. So, how do things stand in the points race? We talked about it in the opening, and now you can see for yourself 5 drivers within 12 points. You can see that privateer Mark Usher and Jean-Francois Godin swap positions up top. But because the scoring system allows for 2 dropped events, the most important numbers right now on the chart are the yellow pocket points, a driver's largest dropped event. Defending champion Adam Tierney for Radicals Online and the 2 SimRC drivers Patrick Kessler and Renault Osterkamp are much better set if disaster strikes the 2 leaders because they have more points in their pocket. Let's go to the Tier 2 standings now. The AOR does not provide stats for the GSRC stat boys Simon and Poindexter to do their drop race magic, so these are the raw totals only we are looking at. Berlin Sim Sports Jonas Vastamaki was not fast and lucky, as his nickname says, at Montreal, losing a big chunk of his lead. Scott Newton has been hot of late, and finally it's reflected in the points as the Apex Racing UK driver jumps 2 spots. Formula Mini Sarah Dove is quickly becoming the queen of GSRC, racing in not only the AOR, but in the MX-5 World Tour, and has signed up for the Absolute Beginners IndyCar League, which debuts tomorrow. Where else? Here on GSRC. Kmart, Forrest Fissy, Knut Martinson rounds out the overlay. Finally, to the team championships, where everybody holds station except for Racecraft, which, powered by the vans of Losenord and Hoyman, crawl back onto the chart in 10th. Fans and commentators alike are starting to believe the Cinderella duo of Renault Osterkamp and Patrick Kessler are for real. SimRC refuses to fall. Radical Online has the name power with Adam Tierney and Josh Thompson. What they don't have is consistency. Okay, enough soup. Let's cleanse the palate with some crackers to tell us about the event details.
It's all about the 8s this week, Soup. This is Season 8, Round 8 of 12. 2 drops this season, and that is a combination of the feature and the sprint race. 2 races per event every Friday here. The setup of the Formula One or Renault 2.0 is open. What does that mean to our first-time viewers? Well, that means the drivers and or their engineers can adjust the cars to their liking, getting the very most out of these machines possible. The weather, well, that's predetermined. I can tell you today, though, that the weather is 85 degrees outside, overcast right now. On track, they're qualifying. It's 85 degrees on track, Soup, so a pretty balanced day. But let's look at the details of this feature race coming up. It's 40 minutes in length. And the grid, well, it's going to be determined by this qualifying going on track right now. Just 5 minutes left here to get 2 laps in around this gorgeous track. Pit stops, you will need one to get this race done. There's not enough fuel in the car. Generally, we see that sometime around the midway point of the race. Now, the incident cap limited to 15 of those today. You can't get in trouble by getting off track or making contact with your opponents. You get to that 15 mark, well, if you haven't watched this before, we'll refer to it as a little place known as the Twilight Zone, where you'll disappear. Yes. And fast repairs, no, you don't get them here. We'll give you one in the sprint race, but not here. You got to bring and run what you brought, take care of it to the end, because it's the only chance you've got for a win today is taking care of this Formula Renault 2.0.
Now, we're blessed to have a 4th member of the GSRC team here with us, and working pit lane today will be Joseph Ringrose. And Joe, there is going to be pit stops in this race, and this one is kind of interesting here at Interlagos.
Yeah, Interlagos, it crosses essentially the racing line, so it'll be interesting to see when the drivers come in, if they're battling, who's going to pull in, when, kind of thing. Especially if there's a long train. It could be interesting if there's battles, and might be an incident. We'll have to wait and see.
And Sean, pit stops are quick unless they damage these little fragile Renaults out there, either with car-to-car contact or sometimes just from the curbing. How's the curbing here at Jose Pace?
Well, it could be a problem, Soup, and you're going to have to watch out for that today. Now, we do know that high curbs don't like the wings on these machines and will incur the extended pit stop for a wing replacement. But today there are a few places where you can get in trouble, and well, it starts right off in turn 1. The left-hander going downhill into Senna S. The curb really can upset the car there. If you hit it just right, you can find a lot of speed through there. But then you've really got to watch yourself down when you get into Ferradura. That's turn 6, all the way down into Magrulo. That is turn 11. The curbs there can all be tricky. That's the twisty bits of this track, and it gets very, very slow in this car. Plenty of grip down there, and I think today's weather is going to help. But you should be able to make it through this one without beating the nose of the car up too bad. But there are some spots, like I said, where you're going to have to watch yourself just a bit.
Looking there at Mark Usher, who currently leads in the points. Now you can see from the darkness out there, in his short story, Edgar Allan Poe described this kind of sky as the clouds hanging oppressingly low in the heavens. And right now, Mark Usher doesn't want his day to be the fall of the House of Usher, which is the name of that short story, as he's out there in front right now. How's he doing in qualifying? Well, not so good. He has yet to. In fact, I can't even see him on the chart yet.
Usher's eighth and done with his qualifying effort here.
Well, that's not what he wanted.
No, I don't think that was the plan. So, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I stand corrected. 3 laps of qualifying today, and Usher just completed that 3rd lap. There he goes up the board 1. He gets in his 7th, Soup.
Moves up 1 spot. And there's Ty McLeod. Not so good. McLeod has a reputation of being really good in the sprint race if he can put in a decent feature race run. Now we'll look at Christian Tkach, the Red Devil driver.
Yeah, Tkach just wrapping up his 3rd lap, which gets him into 3rd, Soup, with a 1:29.6, but the man to beat, and looks like may have it tied down, is Renee Osterkamp with a 1:29.4, Soup. He is your provisional pole sitter right now.
We stay on Tkach as most of the qualifying is in. Also, Fabricio Donoso was able to put in a good qualifying time. Looks like he's going to sit in 2nd. Tkach in third, and I think that's where he's going to have to settle for. And we're looking through here. We're looking at a penalty, I believe, to Carl Janssen is going to have to serve a penalty today. I'm not sure what that is, whether I believe it's a qualifying penalty, I would think.
I have info on that, actually.
Okay.
All right, so Carl Janssen has a qualifying ban and a pit lane start for the feature.
Oh.
And a back of the grid for the sprint. Okay, and these are all from previous incidents in the last race. Patrick Kessler has a qualifying ban today, and Bruno Dominator with a qualifying ban and a back of the grid start in the sprint race also. So, and you know what? Got a couple more, Manuel Hoyer and Alec Hudson with back of the grid for the sprint race. So there we go. Let's go to it now, the grid.
Let's go to it. On the front row, Sean, it's Renault Osterkamp and Fabricio Donoso.
Row 2, Christian Tkach, Scott Newton.
Eric Andre and Adam Tierney behind them.
Row 4, Mark Usher, Harrison Finch.
Row 5 is going to be Manuel Hoyer and Rudolf Nagel.
Ty McLeod, Dustin Hickman, row 6.
Tier 2 leader, Yunus Vastamaki, inside of Christopher Holstein.
Okay. I lost some place. Sorry, Sue. Richard Arnault, there in 16th, 17th, Daniel Morris.
Stefan Herman and Knut Martinson, 17th and 18th.
All right, Erka Lindstrom in 20th, and 21st going to be Lubomir Morris.
And Erka Lindstrom, Lubomir Morris in 20th. Hitting blackjack, Evan Imre and Tom Van Hoyman in the double duck spot.
Okay, I'm going to get this back on track, I promise.
Know where you are now?
Yes, Alvin Lutros in 24th, and Sarah Flying Dove there in 25th.
Quarter century mark, Connor, Ryan, and Alec Hudson outside of him.
All right, row 14, Jordan Prince, Alexander Waldo.
Carl Janssen with that penalty back in 29th, 30th, Patrick Kessler.
Robin Bondon, Bruno Dominator, and Casper Thron at the very back of the field, Sue.
And I guess Hugo Quinier's not going to race with us today. Okay, 34 drivers entered. 33 drivers were able to put in, I believe, are going to grid themselves up here today. 28 of them were able to put in qualifying times. But at the front, it is the SimRC driver, Rene Osterkamp, in his familiar yellow and black colored car. But watch out for Fabricio Donoso. We talked about him feeling comfortable. He is certainly comfortable. Now, we talked about those clouds that are hanging over this track. Well, I'll tell you what's been hanging over this series is the fear of a first lap incident, as we have had many of them here in recent races. Let's hope we can get through this event without a big one, Sean, early on.
Tough first and second turn to get things sorted out. I sure hope we can get through it without it, Soup. We'll see. Here we go.
It's been a throwback to some previous seasons right now. All the drivers ready to take their spot on this gloomy day here in Brazil. The engines start to harmonize. Oh, we might have got a jump. It might have been fourth position. We'll have to watch. It might have been a start early for Scott Newton. We'll see what's going on. Meanwhile, gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows. Leading the stampede down into the first corner, it is Rene Osterkamp. Donoso behind him. To catch Andre and Tierney.
Soup, everybody got through except two cars that decided to stop. It was Alec Hudson and Casper Thron, but they're back underway and everybody gets through.
Newton is in sixth, but I thought I saw his tire smoke before anybody else. A battle up for third position and for the lead right now. Here's Donoso working on the outside of Osterkamp. They'll come to the right-hander. Osterkamp has the preferred position. He's going to hang on to the lead for now. Donoso drops into second. For third, Andre is in a battle with Tkach. Boy, look at this. Tierney in the mix. Newton as well. Oh, my gosh, Sean, back for about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th. It is really a jumble.
Ty McLeod just jumped up to 10th place. Took it away from Rudy Nagel.
Now they settle through as they've negotiated through Duckbill. They've gone through the dive-through junction, which is quarter number 12. The leaders working their way around. They are going to be on the throttle now as they head what is called up to the pits. Leading the first lap, I believe, is going to be Rene Osterkamp. A battle for second now. Here comes Enric Andre taking a peek on Donoso. I want to see if Scott Newton comes in. He does not, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe there was not a stop-and-go penalty for Newton for jumping the start. Or maybe he wants to wait and serve it on his next lap.
Christian Catch gets by Adam Tierney. There's a good battle set up on the front straight.
Tierney coming back. And ahead of that, a pass. Andre gets around Donoso now. Andre moves up into second. Donoso back to third. Tierney, pushes to catch off. To catch is going to lose a spot to Newton, lose one to Usher.
Yeah, Usher gets by, takes advantage of that. That'll bring in Harrison Finch right behind him, closing in behind Finch. Great battle. Manuel Hoyer going at it right now with Dustin Hickman. Hoyer going to get around.
Tire smoke in front of these guys, and I used push off. It was just to catch, leaving room, getting out of the way so there wasn't contact. The catch falls back into 7th, rounding out your top 10. Harrison Finch, McLeod, and Hoyer. Let's drop back to 11th because that's where the train starts. Actually, it starts at 10th with Manuel Hoyer.
Yeah,
Sean, look at that. They are lined up behind him.
They really are. Dustin Hickman, Rudolph Nagel, Eunice Fastamaki, Christoph Holstein, Richard Arnault. Yes, it's a mess back here, Sue. Everybody's still just trying to find their ground around this circuit.
Up front, coming across, it is Rene Holsterkamp, who has really opened up a lead now, up to 1.3 seconds over Enric Andre. Newton finally has, I believe, come in for that pit stop. Let's see. Yep, he had to serve it. I thought I saw his tire smokes, and now he's serving a stop and go. So move Scott Newton, who was the top Tier 2 driver. He's going to fall way down the list. That's going to move Manuel Hoyer to the top. No! Yes, Manuel Hoyer goes to the top of that chart.
Boy, Lubomir Morris just back here stormed into the top 20 by getting around Sarah Dove and Urka Lindstrom, dropping him. Now taking another spot from Evan Imre. Or I'm sorry, Imre getting by Lubomir Morris there. Now Morris fighting back. This is a battle down at the Ferradura as they head into La Arena.
That a boy. Earning your GSC's money. Oh, we have a spin. Let's quickly, can we get a replay? It just happened. Let's go to Christoph Holstein. He just spun in front of people. My gosh, we got away with this one. As you can see him losing positions hand over fist. This one could have been a lot worse than it was as he spun. He got the car off into the grass. I thought he was going to come back on. Watch the blue car. I thought he was going to come right back off in front of traffic. There it is. Look, you see him lock it up, and I worry he's going to come back off in front of all that cars, but he did a good job of merging on there, and the blue car continues.
Well,
Holstein back to 17th. Go ahead, Sean.
They are completing another lap. Everybody coming through Archie Bensadas right now, down the front straight, into Senna. The leaders all go. Rene Osterkamp off to a good start here.
Let's look at third. Here comes Adam Tierney. He is challenging Donoso. Donoso going the wrong direction. Qualified second, lost a position to Andre, and now is being challenged by the defending champion, Tierney. Tierney on the outside as they work through Lake. Not going to get it done. Tierney goes wide. He's going to lose position. The blue car is Usher. He gets that spot. The red car coming in there, that is to catch. Well, that didn't go the way Adam wanted it.
I don't think so. Soup, another great battle back here. Knut Martinsen right now in the thick of it, getting pushed to the outside. Is right now he finds Stefan Herman on his inside. I'm sorry, it's Holstein there in the purple Formula Renault. They almost make contact. Herman was on his way to getting around Knut Martinsen, and then all of a sudden gets into this battle there. Now it's Martinsen pulling away, trying to catch up to Eunice Fastamaki.
The racing is intense at that part of the track. Joseph, I guess Scott Newton got in and out. He's back out on the track right now, I would imagine.
Oh, Holstein gets a little bit wide. Oh, he has trouble out of Jun Sao, turn 12. It just cripples him out there. He's stuck right now trying to get back on track. He's going to get all the way to the end of the field. Let's go to the replay here for Holstein. He's just going to miss it. Probably a little hot on the entry and just gets it out wide. Got to get in the brakes here. Down to second. Yeah, he slips off the top of the curb there. It sends him all the way out to the barrier there.
Second time we've had the camera on Holstein for a replay. Not in rhythm right now. We come back live, you can see, there he is.
Yeah, that dropped him all the way to the back of the field, Soup.
Now we're looking at third place, Donoso. Donoso having a hard time holding off these guys. This is Usher. Usher is up from 7th position. He sits on top of the points if you take drop races into account. He's our leader right now. Looking to make up some more on Donoso.
Soup, I got to ask a question.
Yes.
Who lit the fire under Patrick Kessler today? He just went up 13 spots, sailing by Lubomir Morris. Made Morris look like he was standing still when he got by him.
Well, that's a little bit of a faux charge as he was back there in 30th. I'm not sure why Patrick was back there when you were listing off drivers that had penalties. I don't remember Kessler's name coming up. Maybe just didn't get a clean qualifying run. But yeah, he's got points to make up for SimRC. Remember, he's teamed up with Osterkamp. Those two guys score points every week. And right now, his partner is leading this thing. And doing it well after fending off the early charge by Donoso. Osterkamp, as we look there at Adam Tierney, our defending champion in 6th. Osterkamp has opened up a 2.3 second lead. Look at the battle, though, behind Donoso. That's Usher, to catch, Tierney, and then Sean, the guy that continues to impress, Harrison Finch in 7th.
And Daniel Morris getting by Richard Arnault. Oh, that was to get up to 12th. He shot him there going into Decido del Lago.
Again, Daniel Morris, remember, is trying to close in on Yunus Vastamaki, trying to make up some points. He continues to close. He is the top Tier 2 driver. Vastamaki, where is he? Well, he's all by himself now in 14th. He's got Stefan Herman behind him, maybe. You see Vastamaki in the citrus-flavored car.
Yep, these guys got to be careful because they've got a whole line of cars. Any one of them that can get to him and pass him, starting with Knut Martinson, Kessler, Morris, Evan Imre, Sarah Dove, all right there behind him. Following very closely, Soup. Everybody's still really close together on this track.
Boy, these guys are really locking the tires up coming in on the braking. They're smoking a lot. It's taken my breath away a few times. Up front, not much going on. In fact, the top 5 have now seemed to settle into position. All the way back to actually, well, we talked about Harrison Finch. Can we put the camera on him in 6th position? Just a while ago.
Trouble for Vastamaki? We've got trouble for Vastamaki. What happened?
This was on the straight.
Oh, no.
The car just veered. That's hardware. Or he fell asleep.
I've done that. He was coming up out of those boxes through Arquibensadas, and before he got to Bensadas, the car just veered off to the left into the wall.
Right on the straightaway. We'll see if we can find it. This one was, not pleasant. There, just catching the tail end of it. Here we go.
He gets out of Junsao, up the hill.
Everything's fine here.
Yeah.
He's going to get through those boxes just fine. And then the car is just going to trail off to the left.
I think the cat might have walked across the racing rig there. Here you go, and there he goes. Bang! Well, we talked about that Tier 2 championship. That's bad news for Vastamaki in a couple ways. One, he won't get the benefit of the regrid as he's going to finish well outside the, well, you got to be at least top 20 and no more than 1 lap down. Well, that's not going to happen for him. That's great news for all the Tier 2 drivers. And right now, here it comes. We talked about Donoso. Well, here comes Usher. Boy, he locks it up again, going into 1. Can't get it made, but he is fighting on it. Usher in the blue car. Donoso blinks a little bit. Now look at the momentum from Usher, trying to make it around the outside. He's got the momentum. He's pulled up side by side. He's going to be on the outside, though, for this one. Again, can he make the outside line work? He does. He hangs in there. Now, if you can hang in there to get to the horseshoe, he can't as they get to 6. All that fighting, though, is letting Finch in here and to catch. Remember, Finch just got around to catch. Look at this. Finch now up to 5th.
Well, they're having their own little battle back there to catch and Finch.
We documented Finch was behind Tierney. He got around him. He got around to catch. Here comes Finch.
Boy, Donoso really struggling with that connection right now.
Sure is.
Boy, be just gutted to see him lose that due to a connection issue.
We look at that, you can see the car at the very back of the train. That's Ty McLeod, racing in 8th. And, Joseph, what's your take here on the leader? What's going on?
Yeah, the battling behind him just sort of seems to allow him to pull away from them, and I'm sure he's hoping that pit window's sort of going to be around between lap 19 and 21, so hopefully he's going to want to lead ahead of Andre, Donoso, Usher, etc. And then he can come out and lead again.
Adam Tierney in the pit now all of a sudden, Soup.
I wouldn't surprise me if the window is open. I'm going to come in because I think Donoso is the cork in the bottle that nobody can get around. Usher, Finch, to catch McLeod. Maybe you come in now. Yeah, you have to fend with maybe some slower traffic that hasn't made their stops yet, but you might be even faster than that. We'll see how this plays out. Is Joseph Donoso or Tierney in and out?
Yeah, clean pit stop for Adam Tierney. Seems to be feeding out just behind his teammate. Well,
behind Lourdes here in 27th position. Lourdes in 26th. Now, hey, Sean, let's go to 24th position we can. Here's the guy we haven't talked much about, Carl Janssen.
Yeah, Janssen trying to make up a lot of ground, obviously, Soup. So, and it so far has only picked up 5 spots. So, I'm thinking maybe he would have liked more at this point. And the driver in front of him, though, 2 cars in front of him, Alexander Waldo, that's what I wanted to bring up. He just moved up into 25th, and you know what? There's opportunity ahead here for him. If he's battling to get into that 20th spot. He's still got a lot of work to do, but Waldo just picked up a spot in getting around Alban Ludros, and so things are looking up for him.
Yeah, but at the back of this train, here comes Christian to catch. Joseph?
Yep, everyone sort of seems to be making early stops, as you said, probably because of Donoso. Maybe scared to get past him because of the connection issue that he seems to be having. No one really seems to be able to get past, so maybe get the undercut on Donoso.
Tierney just going by the start-finish line. Let's see how Tierney cycles out in relationship to catch. Where is to catch? There he is coming out now. I think Tierney got him. Let's see if we can follow up on this one as my timing is scoring a little bit behind. Where are you? Let's follow up. Okay, to catch is out in 17th. I found him now. To catch is out in 17th. He's ahead of Connor Ryan, ahead of Bruno Dometer.
Yeah,
boy. He's crushed. Yeah, boy, he's crushed him, Sean.
Dometer having a really, really big battle right now with Robin Bondon. Dometer gets around Bondon, fighting to get it back. Dometer, he's up 13 spots right now, just gets into the top 20. Bondon trying to hold it down. Dometer fighting hard, though, to get to Connor Ryan right now.
Waldo Jans, a couple more pitters here, so they're coming in. It looks like we have McLeod is in. And Manuel, all these McLeod comes in, all these guys who are stuck behind Donoso. Now he's rolling. McLeod is to catch his long. Well, this is going to be interesting. Here comes McLeod coming out. To catch is right there. And I think McLeod is going to get him. He comes out. He's going to cycle out right alongside of Erka Lindstrom. There's our leader of all the cars who pitted, Ty McLeod. He picks up a few. Right behind him, Christian to catch.
Yeah.
Tom,
sorry.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, clean stop for Ty McLeod. Just behind Christian to catch. I don't know really what's happened to Adam Tierney. Bit behind to catch and McLeod. So he's obviously lost out in the pit stops, and he's going to have to make that back up on track.
Looking at Tierney's times, the numbers, I can tell you right now, Tierney was in his box for 13.2 seconds. That's the difference compared to 4.4 for both to catch and McLeod. Maybe a little damage there. You know, Tierney had a couple offs. Sean, we talked about it. Might have hurt the undercarriage.
It probably did, Soup, and that damage very costly here. An 8-second gap here, just tremendous and so tough to overcome.
Looking at Usher right there in 5th now. So why is Usher in 5th? Well, Sean, I don't know if we caught one of these passes on screen yet, but Finch has got another pass, and now look at this! My goodness, those are 3 cars in a string. Here comes Fish, making a move on the outside of Donoso. They work through the lake descent. Finch makes that car stick out there. Now he'll have the preferred position into the horseshoe. There is no room for Usher, but he tries to put the car in there. Blinking is Donoso. Give Finch another position. Can he finish the job? They go down into 8. Now they head towards the left-hander, which is called Small Pine in English, and Finch moves up one more spot. Hungry for that spot is Usher. Through Duckbill.
Soup.
Or as I like to call Duckbill, Cyrano de Bergerac, but that's not catching on.
For every one of these battles we've got up front, we've got 2 more behind, deeper in the field. Lubomir Morris, Knut Martinsen. They were wheel to wheel just a moment ago. It looks like temporarily Lubomir Morris is going to take the advantage over Knut Martinsen. Both of them charging up here in the top 20, trying to get to the top 10.
Let's go to 2nd. Here we go. This or 3rd. I apologize. It was really the battle for 2nd behind the best 2. Finch in a tight battle with Donoso. Oh, they almost made contact. The blue car is Usher. Up in front in the citrus and black car is Finch. Donoso behind him in the red machine. Usher in the dark blue car. That's a battle for the... Here comes Donoso now with a run. Usher's going to try to tuck him behind. He thinks that lane through the checkout is faster. Donoso gets the pass. Usher trying to force his way in there as well. He's got to run. Finch taking his half out of the middle. They'll come to the right-hander, which is horseshoe. I think Usher should have the preferred position. Finch really crowds him. Finch spins off. He did not leave Mark a lot of room, and Usher was there. There's nowhere he could put the car.
Oh, boy. We've got a replay of that, indeed.
It's a matter of how much room did Finch leave Usher. We're going to look at it above. We'll have a good view of this one as we go to the top view. And here we go. Oh my gosh, it was... If he left him enough room, he didn't leave him any extra room, Sean. We'll look one more time. Now the question is, when now Usher comes in, Joseph, keep an eye on that one. We'll wonder about that pit stop. We'll go on board with Usher. Let's see how far he keeps the car to the right. He's got his right side. Go on this right side. He gets the corner entry. Oh boy. That's a tough one. The good news for Usher, he wasn't damaged. But Finch, who was having a great run, not going to be his day.
Finch is in the pit. Soup just came in.
Now his job is just to try to salvage what he can. He wants to top 20. Everybody who has those issues say, okay, let's regroup as we look at Usher now.
Usher
another
just...
battle with Donoso will not give up. This thing won't go away. Donoso and Usher.
No, it won't, Soup. Boy, Donoso locking him up out there. Both drivers locking him up, almost getting into each other now.
Now my timing and scoring is showing Dustin Hickman. Is that true? Is he really in?
He's right there, Soup. Right there in that battle with him. Hickman having a great run today.
I apologize then to Dustin. I'm not sure where he came from. 12th position up to 5th. Hello.
Yeah, and he has been watching this battle closely and now finds himself in a position to attack. You get through those boxes here and down into Arquibanzadas.
3 wide, perhaps. Here we go. The clown is Usher. The Joker at Hickman. In the stealer wheel position is Donoso. And he backs out. But now he gets a little dipsy-do. He's got to run through. What great racing for 3rd.
Usher was in full lock up there coming down the hill, Soup, and now he's going to pay for it. Oh, watch out.
Donoso with a run. Donoso continues to blink. And who is this Dustin Hickman guy? He's new to the series. He's new to our broadcast right now as he showed up in 5th. Up in front, Usher and Donoso. Side by side again. Donoso will have the preferred position through the horseshoe. Usher decides to back out. He backs up too much. I thought Hickman gets into him. He might have. And now they both go off. And here comes Rudolf Nagel.
Another rookie.
Oh, the horseplay through the horseshoe cost Usher and Hickman positions. Nagel up to 4th. Holy moly, sweet sassy molassie.
Yeah, and what Hickman's got to hope for is that he didn't get any damage on that front wing. Doesn't look like it, but boy, fighting in position right now, if he's got to come in and he winds up with a wing change, that's going to cost him a lot of time.
Pit stops continue. We'll look to see who is the leader of all the cars who pitted. It is still Christian to catch. Now, Sean, all the excitement that we've been watching back for second, we got to focus up here to Rene Oosterkamp, because here comes the Frenchman, Henrik Andre.
Yeah, Andre's been solid here, Soup, to start this race, and so solid that he's put himself in a position now where he's finally caught Oosterkamp and is really starting to find himself setting up a battle for maybe this position before the pit stop. I'd rather be in first than last.
It is Austria in front of France. Oosterkamp ahead of Andre. We'll ride on board with the Frenchman, looking ahead at the SimRC car of Oosterkamp. Oosterkamp's partner, Kessler, had to start way in the back. Kessler's been working his way up. But right now, Renee's not worried about what his buddy is doing. He's got a mirror full of Henrik Andre. They go past pit lane. Donoso still not going to pit this time. The top 12 drivers yet to come in. All this going on, we don't need to go there, but I just want to mention that Carl the Man Jansen now is in 18th. And all he really needs to do is get to the Dos Equis spot, Sean. If he can get to 20th or better, then the feature race becomes a whole different story. You know, but I got to apologize. I keep remembering that I think you mentioned that the penalty for Jansen applied not only for the sprint, but in the feature as well. Or not only in both races.
For the sprint race also, and unfortunately he is going to be handicapped by that, as he will have a back of the grid for that sprint race. So regardless of position here, great to see the fight, but it's not going to help him anyway heading into that sprint race.
Looking at Usher now, that has cooled off a little bit. Usher just ahead of Dustin Hickman. My apologies to the Dustin Hickman fan club for me not paying attention to what he's done. He's having the race of his AOR career, in my opinion. How about Rudolf Nagel, Sean? What is going on? That rookie's on fire, up in 4th.
Really is, Soup, and it's been a great drive. Had a great qualifying effort. It really helped out here. And for that great qualifying effort, he's been able to pick up spots, one right after the other, and giving great chase right now. Looking at a podium here for him, possibly. He's got to just drive a little harder here to the finish.
Got to go up front. Here comes the move. The Frenchman on the inside of Oosterkamp. He gets it done. We got ourselves a new leader, and it is Henrik Andre.
Boy, he'd been working on that for a while, and it finally pays off, Soup.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted that spot because he wants to be first to pit lane. And now that he is in front, he's starting to put a little bit of distance between him and the guy who's chasing him. It's up to a couple car lengths now. So the first pass for the lead. Osterkamp back to second. Third place continues to be Fabrizio Donoso. The blinking seems to be a little better.
Yeah, things seem to have settled down just a bit for him, and that's good. He needed that. Boy, Andre, though, as you said, starting to pull away just a bit from Osterkamp already. 0.7 of a second. Is he going to pit here? No, he's going to keep it out.
Yeah. You know what, Sean? It seems like sometimes nations get on a little bit of a run. Enric Andre, hailing from France. Fabrizio Donoso. iRacing says that he's also from France, too. I would have guessed Italy on that one, but he says he is from France as well.
Maybe an Italian stuck in France.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's not the worst place you could be.
No, not at all.
And then, of course, Richard Arnault, always doing well. Look at this battle. This is Usher in the blue car, trying to get around. Is that Nagel? Oh, my goodness. Oh, pick a lane.
Yeah, that's trying. No, Nagel's off track there. That's a common spot to kind of lose it there. Turn 5 coming through there. Sometimes you'll run it out really, really wide and you get back on. But, ooh, Nagel going to lose out here to Usher, though. Usher going to get that spot from him, Soup. Got to try and hold on to it. Ooh, almost contact there from Nagel. Nagel reels it back in. And Nagel's got his teammate right behind him, Dustin Hickman. There's that name again. Soup. Hickman still very relative in this battle.
Those guys both in the SimRC paint scheme. Of course, that's the sister team. That's not the main team of Osterkamp and Kessler that leads the points. But my gosh, seen a lot of those colors up front with Nagel in 5th and Hickman in 6th, Osterkamp in 2nd. Usher back up to 4th. Donoso goes around pit lane one more time. Joseph, you're a little lonely in pit lane. Once they got those early stoppers, been a while since people have come in.
Yeah, we haven't really had much action down in pit road. We had a couple of guys in the midfield that have come in, but sort of no real changes at the front. But next couple of laps, I'm sure we'll expect to see the top 5 in.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think business is going to be picking up here pretty quick. We've only got just over 10 minutes left in this race, Sue.
So who is the guy that is the leader of all the cars who've pitted? Well, right now he's in 12th position. It is Christian Takac. He is 27.1 second behind Enric Andre. Andre will want to come in, have a nice clean stop, get in and out in under 5 seconds, see if he can hold on to the lead. I worry about drivers that we've seen in battles that their car may have picked up some damage. Drivers like Usher, is that car, it's racing fast, but is iRacing going to make him do a repair that he really doesn't need? Nagel, how is that car doing? Will these guys all have quick pit stops? What about Hickman? He's been all over the place. Those guys racing in 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Lord knows Donoso has been challenged by countless drivers. I think that car is still clean.
Comes the leader, Andre coming around. Andre going to keep it out on track. Osterkamp going to follow. I mean, at this point, we might as well keep an eye on everybody coming across here. Donoso making his trip now up through Arquibanzadas, and he's going to keep his car on track. And cars behind going in. Usher's in.
Okay, Sean, what was the name of that last corner you gave me there?
Arquibanzadas.
Is that corner 14? Is that what that was there?
15.
15. Okay. I got those in English as bleachers, and I like this one, corner 14, called Up to the Pits. I like that one. Usher, in and out. Now, where is Takac? Takac is already gone. Takac has jumped him. Usher is going to cycle out in front of Manuel Hoyer. So, Sean, you know what? Takac was behind those guys. All the nonsense, all the fighting that was going on. Christian says, I don't want any of this. I'll come in, get a fast stop. The only nonsense I'll have to deal with are back markers. I can handle them. And he still remains the leader of all the cars who have pitted.
Yeah, I can't say I fault the strategy right now. It seems to be working out for him. Andre coming up here into Arquibanzadas again. what's his call going to be, and it's going to be to go in. So the leader is in, and he's going to be followed by Rene Oosterkamp.
That strategy boring and not very much fun, but maybe smart. Let's see if Donoso follows suit as well. That blinking card does come in. Okay, so the leaders are in. Where is Christian to catch?
Coming up the hill now, Soup into those boxes now. Going to find his way here to Archie Bensadas. He's at the entrance of the pit lane.
Andre is rolling. Joseph, Andre is out.
Yep, still ahead of Oosterkamp. Both had pretty clean pit stops. But yeah, still Andre is the leader.
And it looks like these guys are going to jump to catch. Yeah, by quite a bit. To catch files in about, oh my goodness, how about 9 seconds behind Oosterkamp? Well, you know what, Sean? Really, Oosterkamp and Andre were the only two who were not playing. So to catch, it really worked for him. To catch was able to jump all the guys he was dealing with, including Usher and the guys who were ahead of him. The only guys he could not catch were the two leaders. Let's go to Usher right now. This is Hoyer, side by side.
Boy, look at these two just throwing it down there into Curvadar Lanhina.
They get that sorted out.
Usher keeps winning those battles today, Sue. He's holding station in 7th.
Let's put the camera real quick on our leader, Rudolf Nagel. We forgot to mention that as he is going to be last to pit. Rudolph should be coming in. Joseph, I think you're going to be seeing Nagel and Hickman coming your way.
Yeah, Nagel definitely in, and Hickman follows suit. Seem to be pretty close in the pit lane, so if Nagel has a slow start, we could see a jump from Hickman.
What we'll do, let me know when they start to roll. To catch is going by. He's going to get there easily. Let's see if Usher can get them as well. They come out side by side. Now Usher is out on track. I think these guys are going to jump. Nagel's going to get out first. Now there's Usher right in the mix. That's the blue car. He's full song. He's not going to be able to get the first SimRC driver, but he might be able to get Hickman. Usher, Hickman, the guy looking for a place to go. That's Manuel Hoyer. Oh, Hickman spins it.
Hickman with a mistake there, spins it by himself, but gets going again.
Does not hit anybody. Didn't amazingly hit anybody. Right behind him was Hoyer and Donoso. Riding on board, as you'll see this car. This is a perfect view. This is a great camera shot that our director watched the spin, as I really thought the tail was going to come around and get those guys. As the car circles around, misses them totally.
Yeah, those tires were just bouncing off of that inside curb there, Sue. Car bounced just enough to send it around. Hickman all the way back to 9th. Still on his way to completing a great run here if he can just hang on for 5 more minutes, and he's off track again.
Oh,
more trouble for Hickman. Yeah, we cursed him, Soup. That's you, and that's on me, on you. I don't know.
Let's go to 7th position. France is notorious for champagne, and the cork in the bottle of all race has been Fabrizio Donoso. Remember, he was up in 3rd before the pit stops, and we said everyone's got to pit to try to get around this guy. Well, after the stop, Donoso back in 7th. Manuel Hoyer trying to get a spot.
Yeah, I don't know if Donoso can catch Usher either. Usher seems to be strong right now after that pit stop and on his way here to trying to get to a top 5. Rudolf Nagel just right there in front of him. Still very, very possible here. Time running out, though, almost 4 minutes.
Quickly, before we go to the lead, let's go to 20th position in the Dos Equis position, the transfer spot, the guy who's going to be on the pole at the sprint race if the race ended now, Christoph Holstein. This is all important. Here comes Erka Lindstrom. For Lindstrom in 21st position, Sean, my goodness, that's a difference of starting the sprint race in 21st or on pole.
Such a deep field today, too. It's a great battle. Erka was having a good race early, had some trouble, got behind in the pit stop, but he's got a chance here to catch Holstein.
What these guys are hoping for is some type of attrition to happen in front of them so they can all get there. Meanwhile, up in front, 9/10 of a second. It's Enric Andre. He has 3.5 minutes of racing to go. He has a comfortable lead on Renault Osterkamp. He was able to get around the Austrian. He was able to put some distance on him. Had a good pit stop. The Frenchman out in front of the Austrian, racing in third position. Christian to catch. Maybe the smartest drive of anybody. Let's drop back to fourth. Quiet. Ty McLeod.
Boy, and when was the last time we mentioned his name? Talk about a quiet race for Ty McLeod. Man, Donoso and Hoyer still just having some kind of battle here. Oh, boy.
I don't like the way this one's going to work. Hoyer really wants that spot.
Down into Ferradura. Let's see what they can do.
Boy, Donoso does a good job of going all the way over, getting a widest angle he can in there while still leaving Hoyer enough room. That's some good racecraft from both drivers. 2.5 minutes of racing to go. Something tells me I got a hunch Hoyer's going to get him before this is done.
Well, I just saw Fabrizio's biggest enemy reappear just a moment ago, and that was a little bit of connection issue there. And ooh, he struggles out of Junsao, and that allows Hoyer to get around.
And he gets him now.
Watch
We're
the
going to go
hands.
on board on this one.
Watch the hands when we go on board here. This is Junsao, just such an easy turn 12, so easy to get wrong, Soup. It's second gear. We got to get down not too much of that curve, and that's what he did. He saves it from going off track, but very, very busy on the wheel there. Sawing logs gives Hoyer the advantage, and he still hangs on to it as they come back around the circuit.
Hoyer took a defensive line down the straight, took a tight inside line into one, and now Hoyer fending him off. That is a battle for 7th position. Hoyer in 7th. Donoso would like that back. We don't need to go there, but I just want to give a shout out to the guys that have done really well. Adam Tierney, the defending champion in 9th.
Hickman, it all goes wrong for Hickman. Dustin Hickman and Decido Delago goes sliding off course, but again does not find contact with anybody. We've got it on the replay.
Get that replay up. What's interesting is we talked about attrition up in front of those drivers. Hickman comes out in 18th when this is all said and done. He doesn't fall back behind the guys Holstein and Lindstrom.
He had a little bit of help. That wasn't all. I thought that was a solo spin, but it looked like a little bit of a wheel bang there.
So the rookie drops back to 18th position. Our top rookie right now, Rudolf Nagel in 5th. Our top Tier 2 driver, Manuel Hoyer. That Tier 2 champion, Yunus Vastamaki, has had trouble. Daniel Morris, he is our third best Tier 2 driver right now. Morris in 15th. Let's go to Morris real quickly as he's right behind Lubomir Morris. M-O-R-I-C compared to M-O-R-R-I-S. They go down into 1. All this going on behind the Frenchman Enric Andre, who has seen the white flag. He works through Small Pine, up through 10, which is called Duckbill. He's got 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 to go, but most of those are pretty easy. Enric Andre, through 12, that's the last corner that could give him any trouble. He's on the throttle now. The feature race in the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship goes to the Frenchman Enric Andre. Second place goes to Renault Osterkamp. Christian to catch a very smart 3rd. Let's go back and check in on the battle for 7th. Hoyer ahead of Donoso.
Donoso's got him right where he wants him here.
Sure does. But unfortunately, the start-finish line is going to get here pretty quick. It's a drag race. Who's going to get there first? It is Hoyer gets the nod over Donoso. Tierney comes home behind them. Let's go to the battle of the Morrises.
Morris and Morris.
And it goes to MORRIS. Gets it over MORIC.
Yeah, Morris got great run on the outside. Able to secure that. Whew.
And the Dos Equis transfer spot. Look for him on the pole. Christoph Holstein qualified 14th, finishes in 20th. Woohoo! What an exciting event here in Brazil.
Boy,
All
this
right.
was a good one today.
The racing is over here in the feature race, but remember, this is a doubleheader format, and the best part of any doubleheader is that break in between the events. It's the perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters. We're going to take a short break now, but we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order of the feature race, talk to some of the drivers before we get all of our ducks in a row for the 25-minute sprint race that will follow shortly. Back in a few. Welcome back to Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship. Round number 8 from Interlagos. The feature race is in the books. Let's give you that finishing order now. It is Enric Andre. He qualified in 5th, up 4 spots to get the win. An impressive run from the Frenchman. Rene Oosterkamp started on pole. He was very quick, just not quick enough to get the win. He comes home in 2nd. Christian de Catch and Ty McLeod. Very smart races from those guys. They both pit early, get out of the nonsense. When it's all said and done, 3rd and 4th for both those drivers. How about the rookie, Rudolf Nagel, who comes home in 5th? A great run from him. Mark Usher was quick, but all he could do is 1 position up from 7th. He gets 6th. Manuel Hoyer, our top Tier 2 driver, comes home in 7th. Fabricio Donoso blinked his way into an 8th position finish. Adam Tierney and Stefan Herman, 9th and 10th. Sean.
In 11th place, Patrick Kessler. Soup, do you see how many spots he moved up there? Look at that, 19 spots. He'll finish 11th. Harrison Finch, 12th place for him. Richard Unknown finished 13th. 14th, gonna go to Daniel Morris. That's Daniel Morris, Morris. Right behind him, and a photo finish there for 15th, Lubomir Morris, Moric. There we go. All right.
Gotta get those guys nicknames, I think. That's
16th is going to be Scott Newton. 17th, Knut Martinson. Now 18th there, that's actually Dustin Hickman. No, you don't see him on the screen, but trust me, it's Dustin Hickman. The rookie Bruno Dometer, 19th, and Christoph Holstein will round out your top 20. Christoph Holstein. Soup, want to remember that name.
okay. I know why. Let's go to the man who finished in the blackjack position, and in a feature race, blackjack is not what you want because it means that you missed the pole position for the sprint race by 1. It's Erka Lindstrom. Evan Rolling Thunder Imre in the double duck spot. Carl the Man Jansen, well, really, he can only get up to 23rd position, so it won't be burned that much. At least he won't have to suffer the indignity of having to start from the back when he could have been a lot higher. Robin Banks Mondant in 24th, Connor Ryan in the quarter century mark. Sarah Dove in 26th position, Tom Van Hoyman in 27th. 28th, 29th, and 30th goes to Alexander Valdo, Albin Lourdes, and Alec Hudson. Sean?
Okay, Eunice Fostamaki, 31st, 32nd, Jordan Pierce, Casper Thron, 33rd, and Hugo Cagné did not get this race started, Soup, and boy, Eunice Fostamaki had his problems. Why don't you talk to him real quick?
The wheels continue to come off the cart of Vastamaki as Eunice, not the race you wanted.
Yeah, before that I want to apologize to anyone who had trouble with me when I was limping the car home. It was really hard to judge the closing speeds and I tried my best to stay away, but there were some close calls, so sorry to anyone who might have been involved. Luckily no contact, but at least Arno spun trying to avoid me, so I'm really sorry for that. In terms of the crash, my Oculus Rift completely blacked out for 5 seconds. And when it came back, I was in the pit wall. So that was my race there, and obviously not the race I wanted for the championship, which right now is starting to look really bad for me. Scott Newton has the pace over me, and my gap is starting to evaporate. But
yeah, you're taking the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, well, I thought you were safe and a lock for that Tier 2 championship. It's going to be close now.
Yeah, I managed to score over 75% of the laps, so I'm eligible for half the points. So I think I scored 4.5 this race. And after the drop weeks are considered, after this week, I think I'm going to be dead even with Scott. So I pretty much need him to run into trouble to have any chance. And obviously I don't want to win the championship because others are unlucky. So let's see if I can find some pace, but it's going to be tough.
How long have you been racing with the Oculus?
Starting last August I started. So
for a long time.
Yeah, it was my first season in AO or halfway through that. So I think it was season 6.
Well, it happened on the straightaway. Did you think you had the car pointed straight that maybe it might come back for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I tried to keep the car going in a straight, but usually, well, it's very rare that it has a lag spikes, but usually it's 1 second. So I tried to make the straight,
right.
And then I realized, oh god, it's not coming back, and I started braking, but it was too late, and I was already in the wall.
Well, we're glad it was that kind of technical hardware problem that you didn't pass out or something while racing. You had us a little worried, so I'm glad you're feeling okay. Good luck in the sprint. See what kind of points you can get. The pace up to 16th, so you have to pick up a few spots to get there.
Yeah, thanks.
Yunus Vastamaki, boy, Sean, you can hear the nervousness in his voice. He feels it slipping away.
Yeah, boy, but the best way to recover from that is to get out here and have a great result in the sprint race. It's going to be tough here at this track, Soup. We saw some great battles, but once you lose time to the leaders, it's awful hard to get it back here. Really, really is such a fast track. Lots of speed, lots of grip here for this Formula Renault 2.0 on a pretty tough circuit, but it's the way these cars get through the turns of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 that really make the difference here. And as we saw, it provided some great racing, but we've got another one to get in here.
Yeah, so what we're going to do right now, before we go to break, let me just tell you to keep an eye on Scott Newton. He qualified fourth. He's going to be starting from the outside of row 2 in the sprint race. He's going to be tough. And that sprint race right now has launched, and drivers are beginning to practice. So what we're going to do is take a short break. We'll be back to bring you that 25-minute exciting sprint race in just a few. Don't go far.
They say it's always darkest before the dawn. And in the world of motorsports, those words ring especially true. As is tradition, Daytona greets us as we emerge from our winter hibernation. But this year, we awaken 30 years in the past. This time we celebrate a bygone era. as drivers take to the unrefined beasts that are the Audi Quattro and Nissan GTP. A new season is about to dawn. The darkness about to fade. The Major Series and Late Apex Apparel proudly bring you the 2018 Classic Daytona 2.4, an endurance race from the ages, for the ages. Coming to you live, iRacing Live, on February 4th, 2018.
Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship, round number 8 from Interlagos. The feature races in the books. And Sean, now we turn our attention to the always exciting sprint event.
We do, Soup, and this one is only 25 minutes. Yes, folks, if you're joining us for the first time, you have joined us at the right time. This is a 25-minute race and not much practice time left right now. We'll invert the top 20 from the first race that just finished. GSRC dog, check it in there. Soup, finish up for me.
Those are the puppies here. Sometimes, Brazil, they have those stray dogs that wander around, and somebody throw that dog a bone. You'll see there that we have no stops here. Incident cap 11x. Incidents didn't seem to play a big factor in the first event that had 17. I think we're probably going to be good here today. Fast repairs, well, there's one if you need it, but really if you're taking your fast repair, is this so you can get in some more miles. If you have to come in for a pit stop, chances are you're going to finish outside of the points. And the points are reduced. It's about 2/3 of the value. 32 points for a win in the feature, about 20 points for a win in the sprint. Nevertheless, it pays down to 16. And some of those drivers that are back there that have to work their way through the field, Joseph, drivers like Eunice Vastamaki and a few other fast ones that you're going to keep an eye on. Who are you watching?
Yeah, Carl Janssen obviously had that penalty, which means he's going to be starting at the back for the sprint race. He had a pit lane start for the feature, managed to come back to 23rd. Yeah, again in this race, going to be starting at the back, so it'll be interesting to see how those fast guys fare making their way through the traffic.
And it's nice that we were able to avoid the big one, which was like these clouds that hang over the track. Is a cloud that has been hanging over this series the entire season. We got a grace in without any incidents up front, and that allowed all the drivers to have a race. The first lap was clean. We got to see drivers come and go. Some drivers to watch out for. I think maybe the fastest driver out there might be Harrison Finch. My goodness, he was climbing through the field, Sean, if you're back. If you've taken care of the puppy.
Oh,
Harrison was on the move until he had a little mistake.
Yeah, no, you know what, Soup? I'll go back to what you said about the start of the race, the fact we didn't have any major incidents. Boy, it really kept everybody close for quite a while there, and we had a lot of scenarios going on throughout the field. Who was going to make the top 20? Who was going to make the top 10? Who was going to finish on the podium? We really didn't know until that last pit stop finally worked its way out. The last few guys came in, which, the leaders all waited until just about 9 minutes left in this race to go to get those final stops in. So lots of drama, and Soup, there will be plenty of drama for the sprint race today.
Well, if you're a fan of racing, you can understand that the feature race is gridded based on qualifying speeds, with the fastest cars up at the front, slower cars in the back. So the group matches, it stretches out. The string gets longer and wider with more intervals between the cars. Not the case here for this inverted start where we have the fast cars at the back. Yes, we were able to be clean early on in the feature race. It's a completely, Sean, different animal when we do the sprint because the cars stay grouped for most of the race.
Yeah, they will, especially in this top 20 today. But Christoph Holstein is going to be the man to catch. He's going to get to start this race from the pole. And you know what, Soup? In practice right now, this very limited session, he is second quick. So does he have the speed to keep up and keep away from everybody chasing him?
And again, when you look for the big picture, we talk about it almost every broadcast, but it's worth saying one more time that yes, winning the feature is all well and good, but it means not very much if you follow it up with a bad sprint race. If you want to win a championship, you have to do what our defending champion Adam Tierney did last season, and that is follow up good sprint, good feature results with a good sprint result, and that's what we're going to hopefully will happen now. There's about 20 seconds left in practice. It isn't qualifying because remember, the grid is based on the results from the feature race, so drivers are out there. Good news, Sean, is the weather carries over. It's the same weather that they had last time.
Yeah, Soup, no curveballs here with setup or weather to have to deal with, other than the fact that you've got enough fuel to get this race in. So with this practice now wrapping up, we see the checkered flag up there. It's time to get to the grid here, Soup.
Okay, as soon as iRacing populates my grid, we'll go ahead and call it for you. Because counting by twos was too complicated for the guys behind the microphone, we'll try it a little different this time. We'll go by tens. I think Sean and I can probably figure that one out. On the pole, it is Christoph Holstein. Next to him will be Bruno Dometer. Then in the third position, I am assuming that is going to be Dustin Hickman, who doesn't come up on our graphic. Knut Martinsen next to him. Fifth and sixth, Scott Newton and Lubomir Morris. Daniel Morris and Richard Arnault, seventh and eighth. Row 5, Harrison Finch and Patrick Kessler. Watch out for Finch, Sean.
Row 6, Stefan Herman, Adam Tierney. Row 7, Fabrizio Donoso and Mark Usher. Row 8, Rudolf Nagel, Ty McLeod. Row 9, Christian Tkach and Renee Osterkamp. And row 10, Enric Andre and Erka Lindstrom.
If the betting window's still open, hurry, get your money down on Finch. In the blackjack spot, Evan Imre, Robin Banks, Bundan, Connor Ryan, Sarah Dove, Tom Van Hoyeman, Alexander Baldo, Aldous Ludas, Jonas Vastamaki, Jordan Pierce, Hugo Kinye, Cam Stark, Alec Hudson, Manuel Hoyer, and Carl the Man Jansen. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And leading the stampede down into the first corner, it is Christoph Holstein, the pole sitter. Bruno Dometer in second. Hickman, he's going to be good in third. Newton being passed right now for fourth by Knut Martinsen.
Boy, and Soup, once again, we get through the first and second turn. Everybody's still on track.
Again, the battle for second. Hickman looks like he gets the best of Dometer now, and he's got about the second to get up to Christoph Holstein. I forgot to mention how fast Hickman was in the feature race. He'll be good here today. Where's my pick? Well, Finch right now racing in seventh position as he works his way inside of Lubomir Morris. Move Finch up to sixth. Next on his hit list, the Tier 2 driver of Scott Newton.
We had trouble back here. It was Richard Arnault and Patrick Kessler got into it.
Kessler needs those points for his team, SimRC. They lead in the team championship.
Kessler was
Luckily,
able to keep.
Sean.
Oh, and another incident. Rudolf Nagel involved in that, and Christian Tkach. Oh, that happened getting out of Junsao. Everybody having trouble getting out of that turn 12 there on this first lap.
Yeah, I'm looking at one, and also an incident that involved Donoso and McLeod also in one. Nagel involved in it. The Nagel involved with it. Going off track was Bondon. This is what we're looking at. There's McLeod and Bondon off in the grass, and then it's an octopus putting on socks. Cars going everywhere. You can't tell what's going on. Oh, my.
Yeah, oh my is right. We come back at and track it to catch battling with Carl Jansen, and almost has another off. To catch gets pushed out of the way by Jansen, and now Erka Lindstrom getting by.
Nagel spins on the straight. That whole big mess, I'm going to say that whole big mess was caused by Ty McLeod. He started it. McLeod, the type of guy where all the neighbors say he's so quiet and unassuming. I never thought he'd be responsible for such carnage.
Well, look what our leader's been able to do. Christoph Holstein here, Soup, got a second on Dustin Hickman. Got a nice break from the field, and right now not having to deal with anything but this track.
This is two very different tales in here. Holstein was back, lucky to finish in 20th. He was back way back in the feature race. Very different story for Hickman, who was racing up front, was really flying, was challenging to get to the leaders before he had some offs. So based on the feature race performance, you would think Hickman should be the favorite to win this thing. Dometer, Newton in 4th, Martinson in 5th. Now let's go back to 6th position. This is Finch again. Finch in a battle. He's being challenged by Canute. Third car in line. That's the Orange Viking, Kmart. Finch in the middle, trailing Scott Newton. Again, Sean, big points for Newton if he can get some tier 2 points here with Vastamaki having trouble. Speaking of Vastamaki, maybe we can go back to Joseph. How is Vastamaki doing? Is he able to make up any time at all?
Well, we spent a while in the pit lane after that incident, so he's out of the pits now, but a long way back. But one guy to keep an eye out for is Carl Janssen. Currently finds himself in P15, I believe, after starting right from the back, so 19 positions from lap 1.
Those are points. He's already starting to pick up points. And remember, he's racing all alone for his, he races for Radical Online Racing for JRT, Joel Real Timing, one of the softwares we use here on the broadcast. If you haven't picked up Joel Real Timing, let's give him some free sponsor plug here. It's a good program. But right now, he's all by himself for that JRT team for Radicals Online Racing. Picks up a point.
Yeah,
Doing well.
Oh, Harrison Finch up to 4th. He picks off another one. Gets by Scott Newton right there. Newton holding serve in 5th, but Finch moving forward here.
So a little farther back, our defending champion Adam Tierney races in 7th. And let's go back to 11th position, Sean. Well, it's 11th. While I say this real quick, it may not be 11th for long.
It's not. Up to 10th, and Eric Andre going to get by Daniel Morris. Andre now up 9 spots. Started just inside the top 20. And Soup, I got to tell you, man, podium not out of sight here at all for him. Way he's coming up through this field, there's still plenty of time left in this race. Just over 19 minutes to go. Andre on a mission today.
And Joseph, I probably should have done my homework better because I really shouldn't be surprised that Dustin Hickman is so good.
Yeah, well, according to our stats, he has above a 7,000 I rating, so that's very high if you know what we're talking about, and that just shows why he's so far up the field.
Speaking of I ratings, I hear such bad. Every time people complain about I rating being so misleading, all I know is I see guys with 7,000. They're usually pretty fast.
Yeah, hard to fake that.
Yeah. Let's look at Finch in 4th. Scott Newton continues to stay on him the best he can.
And Tierney with a big move, and Canute Martinson there. Woohoo! Martinson fighting back. Trying to pull off the over-under on him here. Great battle going down at the Ferradura. We see it all the time. Great battles going here. Can they keep it up? Martinson fighting hard on the outside. Tierney staying right there with him on the inside. Tierney gets the advantage out of the turn.
And then back behind them in the familiar blue machine, here he is, Mark Usher.
Yeah.
Usher with a run. Looking to get around Mark right now. We ride on board with Mark. He had a good result in the feature. Probably could have got a few more positions, but I think he'll take what he got. And if he can follow it up here with another good run, he's already up to 7th. He'll have a good points day. Oh, I think he's going to get him now. Look at this spot. Let's see what type of line Kmart takes. I'm going underneath you, Usher says.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're the Usher, you can move a guy out of the way like that. That's how you do it.
You've got Morris and Andre right behind them fighting Andre. Andre just taking that position away from Morris.
Dominator
Bruno
had it
Dominator,
off.
yes. Dominator, too much curb, spins it coming down the hill out of turn 1 into the Senna S. Gets lucky here, Soup, on this replay. Doesn't hit anybody or make any contact. It'll be just the spin.
And he does a good job of getting it back around after he makes the mistake. After he makes the mistake, does a little donut, brings it back around, still in the points, comes out in 14th.
He straddled that curb coming down the hill, though, there, Soup, into the right-hander, and that got the rear end around.
Quickly, let's go back to 15th. This is a great battle, even though it's for a little bit of points, but some big names. Carl Janssen and Christian DeCatch. You gotta love the AOR in the format, Sean. Look at these guys back here. DeCatch looking for a way around Janssen. DeCatch in the final points paying position in 16th right now.
Boy, and he is battling Janssen really, really hard right now.
Joseph, you got a pitter?
Yep, Connor Ryan, we don't usually see pit stops in the sprint race, but he's had it off somewhere and he's still in his box, so not a good day for Connor.
Good news for Connor is he can get a fast repair if the car's damaged. Bad news is he'll be so far back he's not going to see any points, but he can still get some laps in. Holstein, 6/10 of a second ahead of Dustin Hickman, who continues to close him in slowly. Finch has made his way around Scott Newton, tries to run down the 2 leaders.
Yeah, Hickman is, you know what? He's having a good drive again, Soup. And you know what, Hickman, I think what we learned about Hickman in the last race here is he's just got to avoid mistakes. I think that was his worst enemy in the last race, is just mistakes up in Benham. And boy, Holstein trying to hold off from making any mistakes of his own. Gets a little too far out on track there as he got through Ferradura, and a little bit of slip of the wheel there. Brings Hickman in just a little bit closer. He's almost got it down to a half second here. Going to catch up to Vastamaki here. About to be lapped. He'll go a lap down here when they get by.
Yeah, watch Eunice here. He's going to put that car somewhere where it doesn't cause any trouble. Vastamaki knows he's not going to score any points right now. This is probably good news for Holstein, as he can maybe get a little bit of a toe off of the back of Vastamaki. Try to keep Hickman as far back as possible. There, Vastamaki just keeps the car on the inside. He lets one through. He lets the second one through. Next back marker United meeting. Usually we don't see Vastamaki at those back marker meetings. In fact, I doubt we'll see him there. Save the bear claw for somebody who needs it, guys. Let's go look back. A fun battle was Osterkamp. Let's go back. This is in 11th position. He's trying. He's on the back of Lubomir Morris, and then in front of him is Ty McLeod. Osterkamp's going to be on the outside here as they work through Lake Descent. Oh, he gets a good run as McLeod goes a little bit, Morris goes a little bit wide. Osterkamp picks up that position. McLeod safely out in front in 9th. Move Osterkamp up to 10th. Morris back to 11th. And let's check in on the Orange Viking, Nate Martinson. He's got his hands full.
He does. He had his hands full. Hey, listen, he had his hands full in the last race, Soup, and finds himself in the same spot again here.
Yeah, well, it's not going to get any easier because McLeod is fast, Osterkamp is fast.
Yeah, this is an angry horde behind him, and he's really going to have to fight hard here to just hang on to this 8th spot. Look at that mass of cars behind him. You just said it, McLeod, Osterkamp, Morris, Herman, Morris again, Daniel Morris, Bruno Dometer.
As we look at those, we don't need to go there. I just want to mention that Dustin Hickman, the interval between him and Harrison Finch now is under a second. Finch is coming too. Remember, he was really fast in that feature race. Oh, and you see Ty McLeod had a bit of a scary moment there. We'll pick it up on the replay.
And let's see what happened on board here. You always got to watch the hands coming down this hill. So tough. Oh, yeah, a little understeer there, Soup, it looks like, was the culprit.
But it could have been a lot worse. A few positions is all. He lives to race on. Up front, Christoph Holstein with just under 12 minutes of racing to go has a 1 second lead on Hickman. Hickman has not been able to do much with that.
Soup, I'm sorry. Morris and Morris. It's the Morris and Morris show back here for 12. Jeez, Lubomir right now getting passed by Daniel, but those two were locking wheels up. Look at just behind him. This is not going to end well. Oh boy, the almost contact there. You've got Dometer in that mix. Christian to catch, who almost made that contact with Morris.
Yeah, watch to catch in there. He's really hungry. He's faster than all these guys. On the outside, that's Lubomir. On the inside is Daniel. Daniel in the red car. Lubomir in the citrus-flavored car. Behind them, to catch in his familiar Red Devil machine. Getting in the mix. There's no room. Where are you going? You getting in there is Bruno Dometer. There's room, Soup. Wow. That's some crowbar racing. And the guy who loses out, Lubomir Morris, drops back to 15th. To catch now working on the outside of Dometer. Now remember, to catch was in that battle with Carl Jansen. And he's back there as well. Jansen now behind Morris. And he's bringing Manuel Hoyer with him. Yeah, gotta love the AOR.
This battle is intense right here, Soup. And this is just to get into the top 10.
We're not missing anything up front. The top three continue to race about a second between each of them. Harrison Finch, though, doing a good job of closing the gap. We'll stay where we are. Sean and I, you've done this long enough to know when something's going to go wrong, and there, Lubomir.
All it takes is one small mistake, Soup.
You can only dance the tango in a china shop so long before you break some porcelain. Luckily, they just banged the table. They didn't break anything that time. Riding on board with the man from the Czech Republic.
Abusing. It was a really nice catch, just abusing that inside curve in Junsal there just a bit, Soup.
Joe, what's going on with Jansen?
Well, Jansen, last time we spoke about him, he was P15. He now finds himself in P14 after the mishaps of, Daniel Morris just went off at turn 1. And obviously Lubomir Morris had that little moment going up the hill. So he's making gains and he's getting involved in this battle with Dometer and to catch, I believe. So
they are so close. They've interlocked wheels at least 2 times since we were talking about it. I think Jansen is going to get that position. Dometer gets touched by Hoyer. And they broke a teacup.
Yeah, and both cars are off pace because of it now, Soup. We've got a replay of it. Let's take a look there.
This is Hoyer and Dometer.
This is just close racing, Soup.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, these boys are definitely feeling it today.
So what does that mean? Martinson sits in 10th, Herman in 11th. To catch is settled into 12th comfortably. Carl the Man Jansen, he's up to 13th now. That's their points. Lubomir Morris survives all that in 14th. Daniel Morris in 15th. Last car earning a point. Manuel Hoyer, he has 1.6 seconds again on Erka Lindstrom, who continues to find himself just outside of where he wants to be. Finished 21st in the feature, just outside of the points. Now in 17th, just outside of the points. Let's go up to second. We've been talking about this. I've been telling you that Finch is coming. Well, he's there. Meanwhile, Hickman has ran down Holstein a little bit. Sean, I think we got 3 cars, and I think they're not lined up in the order of quickness. I think the fastest car is in the back. The next fastest car is in the middle. The slowest car might be Holstein up front.
You think so, huh, Soup?
I do.
I think that's boy, see, I think that's not a bad horse to put your money on there, Soup. So let's just say I might agree with you here.
Holstein going to take the defensive line. He tells Hickman, put on the reggae music or you want to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. Through one. Now into the center S. Hickman has the preferred position. Now Holstein has the preferred position. Coming late to the party is Finch. He's got his wings tucked back behind him. His beak's tucked out. It is 3 wide down into late descent. Backing out of the nonsense is Holstein. Making the run from third to first. Harrison Finch, the rookie, takes over the lead. I apologize. He is not a rookie, and he's not racing like a rookie. Out in front, the rookie is Hickman in second. Holstein in third. Shauna didn't take him long to get that started out. The blue car of Holstein spins. He keeps it going straight. Here comes the defending champion, Adam Tierney. He picks up a podium spot.
And Holstein's just going to pull off and... and he's going to tow.
Usher up to fourth. Newton to fifth. Andre gets sixth as Holstein... The fun is over.
Well, Holstein didn't tow. He's slowly coming back on the track. I wonder if maybe he had a hardware issue, boy, and he comes back on the track right in front of Erka Lindstrom. Lindstrom almost hits him.
Good news for Lindstrom is he's made it up into 16th right now with points if he can survive Holstein. And he does. Up front, Finch is being hounded by the rookie Dustin Hickman, bringing with him his 7,000 I rating. Harrison Finch now with the 2-car length lead and 5 minutes of racing to go. Tierney in third, doing what Adam Tierney does. You can see him in the very back of your picture screen there, just scoring points. Usher up to fourth, Newton to fifth. With apologies to the back of the field, we're going to focus our attention up front right now. Sean, obviously the front the front straight is a great passing lane, and we saw from the feature race there's enough time. If you can get a run, you can snake somebody before the checkered flag.
Absolutely. If you can get a good run up the hill there out of turn 13 and up through those boxes and through Archibansadas, there are moves to be made. Indeed, Sue.
4 minutes of racing. It is Harrison Finch out in front. Dustin Hickman behind him. I'm going to take a check my stats and see if Finch has a win this season. This could be his first career win. Looking at it, and yes, he does not. In fact, Finch's best finish so far was a 4th place. And of course, Hickman, we know, doesn't have a win.
No, sir, he doesn't.
We know Bossa Nova, that means new trend, and I think that's what we're in for here today, is I think we're looking for somebody to pick up their first career win. That would be a new trend. Harrison Finch out in front of Dustin Hickman. Yeah,
you get tired of talking to the same guy every week, don't you, Sue?
I do. I do. Janssen has not gained much. Joseph, Janssen not able to do much since he just vultured those spots, huh?
Yeah, sort of seems to be sticking where he is at the moment. He's got a bit of a gap to Takax. Seems to be staying put unless anyone makes a mistake. But Janssen seems a bit iffy over the past couple of laps, so maybe he may make a mistake. But I'm not saying that.
I say he's been iffy not only the last couple of laps, but he really hasn't been on his game the whole race. Not what we're used to seeing from the man. Let's look back at third position. I know we're focusing up front, but let's not forget Tierney as Mark Usher is beginning to close a little bit. Usher, again, looking to have a good point state, a privateer driver. Somebody's got to send him a box of chocolate and get him to race on their team. Up front, the They continue to stalk Finch and Hickman.
You know, Hickman had a run at him here going into turn one just now, Soup, and car got a little squirrely as he made the turn, the left-hander down there, and began his descent down the hill, and he had to back out of it just a bit. That's why we've got a little space right now, but boy, Hickman really, he is just waiting to pounce at the mere flinch of a wheel by Finch. I didn't do that. I really didn't do that on purpose.
Joseph, what's the story with Janssen?
Yeah, unfortunately for Janssen, he spun just about to go up the hill and now finds himself down in P19 in a non-points paying position. So got a couple of guys ahead of him, but it's going to be difficult for him to score points now.
Our hard charger is looks to be Manuel Hoyer, but even that, I believe he's made his way up to 13th position.
Yeah, up here in the top 10, it'd be Enric Andre right now, who's done a lot of work, Soup, to get himself in this 6th spot right now.
Right.
Boy, but this battle up front is the one we got to talk about here, Soup, because it looks like we're going to have one lap to go when they come across the line.
With apologies to the drivers 5th and back, we're going to focus our attention on the top 4 drivers for the remainder of the lap. The battle between Finch and Hickman, and the battle between Tierney and Usher. Usher not able to get anywhere close to Tierney. I think Tierney comfortable in 3rd. So, let's stay up front, and it is Harrison Finch looking to pick up his first win. They work through corner number 4. Now they get to the technical section. Sean, really no place to do it in here unless you want to force the issue down into the horseshoe, right?
Indeed. You don't want to force that issue too much.
Through Little Orange.
Oh, boy.
Through 8. Now down into 9, which is Small Pine. Up into 10. Duckbill. This is a sharp right-hander. I think Hickman might be close enough. If he can start to get a good drive now. Oh, he loses a ton of time out of 10.
That could be it right there, Soup. That could be it, unless he can do something special out of Jun Sao. It's not going to be enough. And the same problem for Usher back here. He did not get a good enough run to catch Tierney.
Coming around with the checker flag waving in front of him, picking up his first win, his first career win ever. He does a little dance. It is Harrison Finch. 2nd place goes to Hickman. Adam Tierney gets 3rd. Usher 4th. Newton comes home in 5th. Andre in 6th. McLeod.
Okay.
Oh, look at this battle
Herman,
for 8th.
Herman and
gets the line. Martinson gets him.
Ooh, I don't know, Soup. I've got Herman on my screen as 9th.
I believe Martinson gets 9th. Herman gets 10th. To catch rounds out the top 10.
Boy, that was awful close.
Coming home, who gets the final points paying position? I believe it'll go to Bruno Dometer. And who finishes one position outside of the points? No surprise, Erka Lindstrom. Try as he might. So close, but yet so far. Needs to change sports to hand grenades where you can get some points for being close. Let's go. Take our break, but don't go far. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order of the sprint race. Talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate here at Circuit Carlos Pace. Back in a few. Who are you watching? You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel. What are you watching? Round 8 of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Season 8 Championship. Where are you watching it? Well, it's from Brazil, Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, and the feature race is in the books, and now the sprint race is in the books, and what a sprint race it was. Harrison Finch makes a 2-car pass, going from 3rd to 1st, getting around Holstein and Hickman to get to the lead and hold it. His first career win in the AOR. Dustin Hickman does a great job. Going to have a great points day, finishing in 2nd. Your defending champion, another quiet points day for Adam Tierney. Mark Usher, the same for him in 4th. Scott Newton, your top Tier 2 driver, as he continues to close that Tier 2 championship gap to Eunice Vastamaki, who had a horrible day. Enric Andre, Renee Osterkamp, Ty McLeod, the Orange Viking, Knut Martin, 2nd Tier 2 driver in 9th, and Stefan Herman, just about, oh my goodness, 2 1/1000ths of a second behind Martinson for 10th. Sean?
All right, Soup, and then we go down to 11th. It's going to be Christian Tkach, Lubomir Morris with a 12th place run today. Manuel Hoyer, a 20 spots. He'll finish 13th. Daniel Morris, 14th place for him. Christoph Holstein, well, that's where he winds up, Soup. 15th after starting on the pole. Bruno Dometer, 16th for him. Erka Lindstrom, 17th. Carl Jansen, who had a great run going, still a good finish, considering he started all the way back at 34th, and that is 18th for him. Evan Imre, 19th, and Patrick Kessler rounding out your top 20.
Kessler out of the points in the sprint race. That's going to hurt SimRC as they try to hang on to that championship. The good news for them is Josh Thompson is not here for Radical Online, so not a lot of points to be scored by that team either. Blackjack position, Hugo Cunier, Robin Banks Bondin in the double duck spot. Rudolph Nigel not nearly as impressive in the sprint as he was in the feature. Jordan Pierce, Eunice Fast and Lucky Vastamaki was neither fast nor lucky today as he finishes in the 25th position. Alec Hudson, Fabricio Donoso in 27th, the Frenchman. Tom Van Hoyman, the Dutchman, in 28th. Sarah Dove, 29th out of the points, but we'll see her soon in another GSRC event. Alban Lourdes, Alexander Valdo, Connor Ryan had trouble, Cam Stark, and Richard Arnault in 34th. Sean, who do you want to talk to?
Well, Soup, we've got, who do we got? We've got plenty of people up here ready to talk to, and
Take the
one
winner.
of them, let's take our winner, Harrison Finch, and talk to Harrison about the big win. Harrison, it was quite a battle in this sprint race. It looked like a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a tough race because I had to close down the gap to Chris and Dustin, but I managed to do it, and then luckily I got a clean overtaking past both of them.
Past both of them, I'll say. One shot.
Yeah, it was quite optimistic, but I seen the gap and just thought might as well go for it.
Well, go for it. You did, and you know what? If you were going to pick which race you want to win, which would it be, the sprint or the feature race?
The feature race, definitely. I think I actually had the pace to at least compete for top 3 in that race, but poor qualifying, and then I had some incidents in the race. So.
Yeah. Harrison, why so bad in qualifying? Clearly you were fast. We watched you go by the drivers in the sprint, in the feature race. What happened in qualifying?
Well, I was having some connection issues before the start. I didn't really get many practice laps in because of that, and I think that just unsettled me a bit, so I couldn't get a clean lap in.
Well, you got a clean finish in, and you take home this very important victory here in round 8. Are you glad to put Brazil in the mirror, or are you a fan of this track?
No, to be honest, it's probably my favourite track out of them all, so I was a bit disappointed with the first race, but I had to make sure I got a good result in the second race, because I wouldn't be happy if I didn't.
Well, go celebrate this one and have yourself a great weekend, Harrison. We'll catch you next week, buddy.
All right, thank you. See you next week.
All right, Soup, and that was Harrison Finch, our big winner, and you have caught up with Enric Andre.
Yeah, this guy has really been hot of late. Had a good Montreal result, and now he is back. Congratulations on the feature race win. Very impressive.
Well, thank you. I'm pretty happy, consider the fact that we were struggling with the weather conditions, and just before the qualification, I changed something on the setup, and it seems like it was working.
You were behind Osterkamp we're talking feature race now. You were behind Osterkamp for much of the early spots. You just waited. Were you just waiting for the opportunity, or were you worried that you weren't going to be able to get them?
Well, starting P5, I was pretty happy to be there in P2, but like I knew that if I had a chance to win the race, I just had to stay close to Osterkamp and see if he would do a mistake, and he did a couple of mistakes, I think. And then I overtook him, and well, then I just try to focus on my pace and see if I can hold him.
Oh, did we lose? Oh, there we go. We lost Enric there. He stepped away.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there. Now you're back. Well, let's go ahead. We lost the end of that. Let's go ahead. Let's jump to the feature race. This has been a great points day for you because Sean and I talk about it all the time. If you win the feature, you got to be able to follow it up with a decent sprint, and you did that. 6th position, 19th to 6th. You got to be happy with the overall day.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit sad that at the start of the championship I wasn't really present in the top positions, but well, at least I'm just gonna try to get the most podiums, and at least to show that I'm a quick driver and see how it goes.
Now, let me ask you one more question. I don't know, Fabrizio Donoso. He claims to be a Frenchman. Do you know this guy? Does he live near you? I don't believe he's French. Do you think so?
He lives in Switzerland, actually.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right. Hey, congratulations on the win today, and a good points day, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, and huge shout out to the World Commentary and the whole Global SimRacing channel team. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We like to put on a good show for you. Enric Andre, thanks for showing up. Always fun to watch race. Sean, who do you want?
Well, actually, Scott Newton is going to catch up here with Joseph Ringrose. Joseph, take it away.
Well, Scott, you finished P5 in the sprint, not too far behind the race leaders. Talk us through your sprint race.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good sprint race, to be fair. I think maintained the position from the start. So, yeah, pretty pleased with that, knowing that fast guys are coming through. Just wasn't very fortunate in the feature race where I jump start. So with a different starting technique and just have a bit of an itchy trigger finger. But, yeah, I saw that Harrison was coming through in the early part of the sprint race, and yeah, he was too quick. So it was just easy for me to let him go, and then had a bit of a fight with Adam Tierney. But yeah, unfortunately lost the position to him, and that was also a great battle with Mark Usher as well. Just a bit of an unfortunate mistake for myself that let him through, but managed to hold on to the P5 and Eric was pretty good as well. I was sort of matching his pace, but yeah, he was probably a 10th or so quicker than me overall in the sprint race.
So you had a good round here. We move on to next week. We're at Sebring. How have you fared there before?
Sebring is not one of my typically strong tracks, just due to the nature of the bumps. But we'll see how we go. It requires a lot of blind luck for myself to do well there, so we'll see how we go, especially with the Bathurst 12 hour coming up next week as well. I'll be preparing for that, but we'll see how we go.
Yep, we will see that next week. On to you guys.
There you have it. That was another interview. Now we're going to talk to Sarah Dove, who finished outside the points today. Why are we going to talk to Sarah? We're not going to talk about today. Sarah, we're going to talk about tomorrow and let's get this right, Absolute Beginner League's IndyCar Series. And I saw your name in that one. Are you going to try a Delara tomorrow? Is that what I see?
Yeah, I've signed up for that, and it'll be. I've been doing races in it for a while, like a few months or something now. Well, a couple, but it'll be the first league that I've done in it, and it's an oval for the first week, so I don't expect to be anywhere near the front.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I don't mean to laugh at you. It's going to be interesting to see. I think that whole series that we're covering tomorrow, they're half the guys are really good on road, half the guys are really good on oval. I haven't found a guy yet, or in your case, a guy or a girl that feels comfortable on both. So it's going to be entertaining. Good luck to you tomorrow. We'll be checking in on you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dove. You do not want to miss that. This is the debut race, not only on GSRC, but in the series itself, the Absolute Beginner League. They have an IndyCar event about, that's going to be a couple hours before this time slot tomorrow. Sean, good race today, huh?
Yeah, Soup, it really was. Both races, a lot of action to follow and great finishes. And, that 3-car battle there, the podium finish here for Finch, Hickman, and Tierney in the sprint race. That's really what this is all about on Fridays. And, great way to start your Friday evening here with the AOR. And I can't wait to get to Sebring next week, to be honest with you.
Oh, boy. A lot of great broadcasts on this series and on GSRC throughout the rest of 2018. Now, let's go ahead and give some thanks to the people that made this possible. And, of course, we got to start with thanking everybody at Apex Online Racing. They organized the Formula Renault 2.0 League, and their members support the broadcast. We know they have a lot of choices in choosing a broadcast company. We are so pleased and honored that they decide on GSRC to cover their series. Thanks to the company's equipment software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. Hey, the original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that unique flavor and feel. You hear the music, you know you're watching us. That's thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. Crackers?
Soup, the AOR returns in 1 week for round 9, February 9th. We will be there at Sebring International Raceway, GSRC. We'll be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us then. Sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts we've got going. So check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and you'll find our entire archive of past races and upcoming ones listed.
It's a huge archive. Every race that we've ever, there must be 600 races there. I don't know how many, thousands.
It's a bunch. It is a bunch. But if you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and on Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word.
I've been elbowed now by the director, who's actually come up from the director's van to tell me 2,000 plus broadcasts at the archives there on the YouTube channel. My gosh, watch them all. Talk about binge watching. There's a job for you. Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, I had fun today, Sean. That is Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director, Joe Peak, Dougie Beard, and of course, Joseph Ringrose, our pit reporter. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And with that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, no castles in Brazil. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.